Recording 10:51 p.m. at least where I am. February 9th still counts. Continuing 28 movies later of the month of February. I just realized this is the wrong image. Hold on a second. I don't feel like. Hold on. I don't.
Only professionalism on them.
Only professionalism. That's right. Hold on a second. We're doing this live. We're doing it live. Where is my. Where is my thing? Here we go. Boom. It's too big. Only professionals here. Gotta emphasize, we're only professionals. Boom. There we go. Return of the Living Dead. Wow. That movie kind of turned into a bit of a bummer at the end. Not very funny. It's like, you go into this movie, oh, it's like a comedy, right? And then it ends. Everyone just dies. Everyone gets nuked. But then the problem doesn't go away because, the toxins in the air now. And just goes back into the rain. And it just rains over another cemetery. It's like, isn't that... I guess that's the real punchline, right? Isn't that funny? That nothing at the end of the day was solved. I think that's peak comedy there. I gotta say, man. They... But yeah, Return of the Living Dead. It is not part of the Romero trilogy, but it is supposed to be a direct sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Because it was made by one half of the people who were behind Night of the Living Dead. Romero went on to, make, his movies. We got classics, right? Dawn of the Living Dead. You got Mall and all that. Yeah, shopping malls. And you got Day of the Living Dead. Military bunker. Everyone's just at each other's throats. Gotta say. It's like, oh man, guys, I'm gonna be honest, like, Day of the Living Dead was just kind of a bummer tone in general. I'm glad that, I'm glad that John Russo here was like, all right, we're gonna lighten things up with Return of the Living Dead, and then it just kind of ends in honestly a even more of a bummer way than Day. So oh, go ahead.
I was because so Return of the Living Dead, it's universally renowned as like a punk film because obviously the some of the main characters are dressed very much in that punk style,
Yeah.
with the black with the black clothing and the outrageous hairs and all that stuff. But also just the soundtrack has a lot of punk in it, and like the general vibe is that devil may care uh type of like bite to it. Like everyone's just nasty to each other in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. So I was like, oh man, this, I gotta say, it's not very pleasant. Not too. But oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, you think in Day of the Dead, like everyone's like ready to like rip each other's heads off, because they're on like the final line. Like just not 10 minutes goes by and like everyone's just cursing each other calmly.
Yeah, but hey, gotta say, overall, it is. You could say Return is still a little bit more lighthearted because like there are kind of some funny moments, man. You know. you you mean the movies lied? What? That's kind of funny. So, but but no, it's like overall, like like you gotta say, like again, like Return of the Living Dead. It's it's like one of the zombie movies, and sure, like it didn't have that big of impact, you could argue, as like 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 the Dead trilogy, but it did have one big impact though. It had very one big impact on zombie tropes. The brains. Ooh,
Yep.
brains. This is the movie that introduced the whole thing about zombies wanting to eat your brains, and they really do like to eat the brains, man. But uh, no, but it's like overall, like it's a fine movie. I gotta say, I think it's just very interesting. Again, like just what a very different direction that the two people behind Night of the Living Dead want to take this kind of like story going forward, right? There was like a well, not you told the story better, man. You could tell it better. What went on with the two with Romero and Russo?
So they went to a split, and so they decided to kind of go in their separate ways. Romero obviously decided, going forward, he will name his sequel movies just Dead, like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and then Bruce, but like John Russo uh, retained the rights to the Living Dead name,
Hmm.
uh, and so he set out to kind of make like a novel to be published so that they can serve as as a blueprint for a potential movie. But like the studio already bought his rights,
Hmm.
so they got they obviously got the name to Living Dead, so they can make like a sequel without John Romero.
Hmm.
Um, and originally the person assigned to the project was Toby Hooper, who
Hmm.
at this point, he's very much known for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in '75
Hmm.
and Poltergeist. Although I did describe it before, like when we watched Poltergeist for like the our
Hmm.
Halloween marathon. I did describe it before. Like Poltergeist was a movie where um, Toby Hooper didn't get his just dues, and that came down solely from the public. Uh, but plans change. Toby Hooper went a different direction, and the next pick
Hmm.
Russo landed on was Dan O'Bannon,
Yeah.
the the original writer for Alien,
Hmm.
and what a wild thing that was.
It's wild.
So
Oh, good.
from what I've heard about like Dan O'Bannon throughout the years is
Hmm.
he you know like I believe that like a lot of his original ideas for Alien
Hmm.
still intact with the original film, but you like you do get a sense that Dan O'Bannon, he's very much a pulp writer. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, he can write something very like very grungy,
Hmm.
uh like uh and that's reflected in this movie where like there is of course like a lot of elements of comedy,
Hmm.
but in this like deep down in the nature of the film, it is a punk movie.
Hmm.
It is It is dirty. It's gritty. It doesn't shy away from being mean.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, and, and Dan O'Bannon, very unique things about that man. He
Mm.
was a very avid collector of guns. There was a story of just like him going inside of his apartment, I believe a producer just going inside his apartment, just seeing like a wall full of guns. You get a sense of like he is kind of a sleazy guy. He literally one of the production meetings was at a strip club.
I gotta say that's still that's definitely one way to hold a meeting, right? Like you're talking to this guy. It's like it's like all right, so like how exactly you're probably like okay, so how exactly are we gonna be doing this movie? It's like oh well you see hold that thought 1 second and it's like yeah come on shake that thing go make it rain. It's like I just think that's just so fascinating. It's like what even goes on there? It is like a strip club meeting. But nah, but well, actually, you know what? Maybe the strip clubs, maybe that strip club meeting's why a character in the movie just straight up just strips halfway. Not even halfway
Maybe.
through, like just
And
just.
who knows what kind of inspiration you get at strip club? I mean, that's how we got Black Arachnia.
That is true. We did get Black Arachnia from a strip club, so so any Transformers fans out there, if you like Black Arachnia, uh yeah, your favorite character is probably based off a strip no, is based off a stripper.
There's just something about stripper that just men will see them and just think of like some of the most amazing ideas. First, it was Black Arachnia, and then arguably it was Starfire.
Arguably Starfire. And then and then who knows? Maybe that's why one of the chicks in this movie just gets naked in a cemetery for some reason. It just takes
Oh,
off
whoa,
her
whoa,
shirt
whoa.
and bands.
Well, Linnea Quigley.
Uh
When you
huh.
have Linnea Quigley in your movie, it's not a matter if she's going to take off her clothes. It's a matter of when.
It's a matter of when. Well, maybe that's why they got her in the movie in the first place, because of the strip club. It's like, oh, we need someone to get naked in our movie. Who? Oh, her. She's perfect. She loves getting naked in movies. Done. So, I, I just throughout the rest of the movie, she's just got nothing but like boots on. Even when she becomes a zombie, like when she's a zombie, like she's like, you just see your tits out. It's like, girl, put something on. You're gonna catch a cold. My gosh. uh, but but I guess maybe that's part of, like the whole punk nature, right? Screw the rules. We're gonna get naked. Which good for you. But yeah. but overall though, like Return of the Living Dead, that's yeah, it's a nice movie, I guess. Like it's got some funny moments, but it's like it's just kind of it's just I think the bigger comedy at the end of the day really is just like for a movie that's like what people hear as oh it's like a comedy, right? And then the movie just ends with everyone dead, and then, and then everyone just gets nuked. But then the poison gas, it goes the nuke just makes the gas go up into the air again, and it just rains down on the dead bodies. Nothing happened. Everything rinse and repeat. Truly is peak comedy there. I gotta say, wow. So, but but hey, again, thanks to this movie though, we did get brains, and those zombies sure do love their brains because it helps them not feel pain.
So we got the Tar Man.
That's true. We did get the Tar Man.
Yeah.
So yeah. I, Actually, you know what's funny is there's like the special effects on like the Tar Man, like when he's like defrosting or whatever, and you see like like his face melt off and stuff. It kind of reminds me of, like Indiana Jones. I just got reminded like, man, I used to be fucking scared at that scene from Indiana Jones when the when the one Nazi's like face is just melting off. Like it scarred me for a good while. So so I'm pretty sure if I was like a little kid and I ended up seeing Return to the Living Dead, and I saw like the Tatar Man's like face getting all like melty and stuff, I'd probably be freaking out. I was like, oh, yeah,
Why the
no,
fuck is
I'm not watching
the
this
rated
movie.
G? Why the fuck is the rated G like face melting scene scarier than the rated R face melting scene?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe Steven Spielberg was onto something, or George Lucas. One of those two were onto something when they were like doing Indiana Jones, and then it's like, that probably explains the aliens. Then now that I think about it, so. But anyway, so yeah, so overall, like Return of the Living Dead, it's it's a classic movie on its own, and it did introduce tropes. But like, damn, again, for a comedy film, what a what a bleak ass ending. So, but yeah, overall, it's fine. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was Return of the Living Dead. So tomorrow, hold on, give me 1 second. Damn, oh, that poison gas making me gassy. So tomorrow, for February 10th, what are we watching? Let me double check. What are we watching tomorrow? Shaun of the Dead. Oh man, I can't wait for another movie where it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's like it's not. It's kind of getting a little bit bleak here, British people. What's going on?
Hey, don't worry, we'll just have a pint and wait for all this to blow over.
Oh, true.
It's true.
That is true. So, not it's what is it with British people and their comedies just being kind of depressing?
There's something in that island. I think it's because it's like it's always cloudy over there, and they don't know how the concept of a sun, so it's like, yeah, they're very weird, miserable people.
Very weird, miserable people. So yeah, more kind of bleak bummer ending and comedies is going on tomorrow. Should be fun.
Well, Shaun of the Dead doesn't have a bummer ending.
Not,
There are
not a bummer ending, but like
some bummer scenes.
it has a really big bummer scene, that's for sure. So, but hey, so yeah, so look forward to Shaun of the Dead tomorrow.